Okay, moving on, we have the good of the cause to the public. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of providing an opportunity to allow for a fair and orderly public comment period. Individual comments are limited to 5 minutes. Members of the public are reminded this is a public televised meeting. To protect the privacy of all students and staff, concerns regarding individual students and staff members should generally be addressed by first meeting with the appropriate administrative staff. Is there anybody wishing to address the board? Good evening. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Donald Simons. I live at 2 River Road, East Brunswick. First, I'm here. I'd like to personally thank Dr. Valesky, Mr. Figueroa, and Ms. Bowie for the help they handed me last year toward the end of the school year on a situation. And I've been in here and made complaints, but I felt since they helped me, it'd be nice to thank them in person. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Simons.
Thank you so much.
That was nice.
We often just hear people complaining. It's so nice when somebody comes and lets us know that our administrators and staff have really done something good. Thank you for taking the time.
Yes, thank you.
And I hope that all your grandchildren have a great school year.
So far, they enjoy it.
Anybody else wishing to address the board? Seeing none, I close the public portion. And we'll proceed with the agenda. May I remind the Board of Ed members to be ready with their motion and seconds?
Yes.
I will play the role of Vicky Becker this evening.
Okay.
Okay, here we
You
go.
don't look as good.
May I have a motion for community program enrichment fees?
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Mrs. Shaw, second by Mr. Chad. Is there any discussion?
Do these reflect an
Sealer.
increase, or are these fees basically the same as what we've had?
I believe these are newly negotiated fees. Mrs. Shaw, I honestly can't tell you tonight if there are increases over any of the
Well,
Oh,
ones
I
we
mean,
had from last year.
most of these are programs that are being offered as enrichment
Yes.
programs, and we don't actually determine
Right.
what those companies are going to charge us.
Correct.
We either accept it or not.
Correct.
And just to clarify, these are the fees being assessed for participation in the program.
Right.
Just want to make sure that's clear. It's
Yep.
not the fee that we're paying to the provider.
And students do not have to participate in these particular programs,
They
is
do
that
not.
correct?
Optional.
Okay.
So I think it bears mentioning to the public, these are enrichment opportunities available to all elementary and middle school students for a fee. But the range, I was very impressed by what we're offering. Everything from coding and lacrosse to
Live action
dance,
animation?
octopus piano,
This is good.
stop motion animation, like Mary said, Spanish and Mandarin, Junior Master Chef, Ultimate Frisbee. I think this really represents the interests our kids have, and I think it's great that we're addressing it. And I know that there are board members up here who suggested some of these topics during our many discussions and strategic planning. So I hope you see that your input is being realized in a very positive, real way.
Kudos to Mr. Decker, because the Community Programs Advisory Board, he's had them working very hard. There have been a lot of input that's been, I know Barbara's been very good, especially with the coders. There's been a lot of input that's been taken into account, but that community program has worked very hard.
I'm naming Barbara for the new Commissioner of Education if there's an opening, so I'm with you, Lori. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Moving on to curriculum and instruction, I would like to combine items 1 to 3. May I please have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Shaw, second by Mr. Seeler. Is there any oh, I'm sorry, you'll get it next. Is there any discussion? No? Okay, well, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
You're having too much fun.
I'm just having a heck of a good time. Okay, facilities. May I have a motion for the facilities agenda?
This is financial services?
Facilities, I'm sorry, there was a
Oh.
handout on the dais.
Oh, well, I don't know. I didn't
Sorry,
see
forgot
that.
to call your
Mr.
attention to
Bernie?
that. Yes, there is a handout on the dais. So, facilities, can I have a motion for that?
I don't even see it.
Okay.
Second.
It's, moved by Mr. Lewo, second by Mr. Chat.
No, that was,
And
that's all right.
Bob.
Yes, I made the motion.
Okay, I've got a 30% hearing loss, I guess I should mention, so
Patient two.
speak up, please, folks. All those in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Abstained?
I'm going to abstain on that one.
Okay, one abstention by Mrs. Shaw. Motion carries. With the financial services agenda, I'd like to combine items 1 through 17, and I'd like to please remind the board members to be cognizant of when you need to abstain on items 9 through 17. And this will be a roll call, so we can do it then. So may I have a motion for items 1 through 17?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Shaw,
Second.
second by Mr. Leroux. Any discussion? Well, I would like to, first of all, thank the Lawrenceburg Elementary School PTA for their incredibly generous donation, and as a general comment for all our PTAs. Many of us up here have worked as PTA members, PTA presidents, PTA board members, and we all know it's the same group of people in the school who step up and do all the work, and it's a tremendous amount of work, and it is all volunteer. It is all for the benefit of the kids, and it results in being able to purchase things for the school that as a Board of Education, we can't necessarily do. And the work of all the PTA members in this district is just fantastic.
I would second that.
And I just want to comment on this particular program that they're bringing in, the One School, One Book activity. Just sounds like a fascinating way to reach out to a variety of people, and it also builds community and unity as they bring this book to life for our kids.
Excellent point. I also wanted to ask either Dr. Valesky or Bernie, if you could just talk a little bit about the food trucks. We're approving contracts with 2 food trucks, which I'm very excited about.
Right.
Because we've talked about the fact that we have so many kids participating, not just in sports, but extracurricular activities that keep them at school. And if they've got an early lunch hour, and by the time extracurricular and practices come along, they're hungry. And a lot of them are going to be going right through dinner time. So could you just talk about
So,
how it's working?
well, so these two, the food truck idea really was a catalyst of, out of JM Pack, but it was serving the JM Pack and non-school events. So dance recitals, activities where people stay for long periods of time at the JM Pack. We are working on a solution to service the students, particularly the high school students, which would not be through a food truck, but through another serving alternative within the
Great.
high school, early in the morning, and then again later in the afternoon.
Terrific.
So we're trying to meet that need, but this primarily is and Mr. Giuliano can correct me if I'm wrong, but primarily for the JM Pack and for, these are based at Hammersholt Middle School.
Forgive me for jumping the gun, but
Yeah.
we are moving in the direction of what,
Yes, right.
and
Yes.
that did come out of the strategic planning
Absolutely.
committee, result of feedback from the public.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, great. Any other discussion? Did I get a motion for this? Yeah. No?
Yes, you did.
I did. Well, okay.
There's no further discussion.
This is a roll call.
Is there any further discussion?
Please call the roll.
Was there any further
No, there was no other, obviously, nobody said anything.
I missed it too.
Stick with the program.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Cancro.
For item 10, an abstention. For all other items, yes.
Mr. Hahn.
Abstain, item 12?
And other items?
No, yes for all other items.
Mrs. Lax.
Yes, with the exception of the abstention on item 13.
Mrs. Reese.
Yes, with the exception of the extension on item 14.
Mr. Seeler.
Yes, with the extension on number 15.
Mrs. Shaw.
Yes, with an abstention on number 16.
And Mrs. Becker.
Yes, with an abstention on item number 9. Okay. I would like to combine items 1 through 4 in our human resources agenda. Can I please have a motion for that?
For the
So
board,
moved.
just so the board is
Oh,
aware, there's
another-
a handout.
another handout.
On the dais. It's an addendum on the human resources.
Oh, I did see that one. I did see that one.
If possible, just a note to the administration, because sometimes when we come in here, we don't have the time necessarily to read through these. If at all possible, if there are going to be addendums, if you can send them to us, even if it's the day of, as email attachments, I think it would just help us.
I apologize to the board, especially with the personnel addendums, we hope to be able to settle this down, but typically at the beginning of the school
Sure.
year, we have a lot of activity, but we'll make sure that we get you information to review before the meeting. We'll make a note of that.
Thank you, and you do a great job of it. It wasn't a criticism, it was just when we do have the addendums, if
It's-
possible. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Can I please have a motion for items 1 through 4, human resources?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Shaw, second by Mr. Seeler. Any discussion?
I would like to get a little additional background on number 3, the MOA. Is this just a matter of mistakes being made on the level that these staff members were at in terms of their pay, and that now that needs to be rectified?
Would you mind details?
Are you talking about number 3?
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 3 is just a resolution. I can explain it in more detail in closed session, the rationale for it, but it resolves a grievance. And it's not really, this one I do not believe is dealing with placement on the guide. It's really dealing with when the guide, there was a delay in the guide. If you recall, several years ago, I think it was in 2014, there was a negotiated delay where the raises didn't go until February 1st because of the financial issues that were going on with the state, et cetera. And it was what happened with folks who were going out on leave replacements or on leave for various reasons. So I can get into the details, but it's a resolution of that.
If you're uncomfortable, do you want to pull this item out and after closed session, come back and vote in it? And
I would prefer
Can we
that,
do
yeah.
that?
Yeah, absolutely, so we should.
Because I don't,
So right now you have a
was
motion
talking
and a
about
second,
this
so you should
before.
make a motion to table this item for further discussion in closed executive session.
Let's have a motion to amend the motion
Okay.
without that item.
All right,
What he said.
So.
I'll make that motion.
We need a motion to amend the motion on the table to exclude item 3 on the HR list.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Shaw,
Second.
second by Mr. Hung. Any discussion?
So now you have an amended motion on the table.
All right, so we don't have to,
Any discussion regarding the amended motion?
right. All those in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Okay, so now that
Opposed?
passes the
Right.
amended motion.
Shoo.
And now you're back to the original without item 3.
Okay. Can I have, but we took a motion.
We took a motion, right,
Okay.
we're all set, now it's amended.
Now it's a roll call.
Correct.
All right,
Correct.
we're back in line. Can
We're
we
acting
please
on
have-
only items 1 and 2.
That's correct.
Right.
1,
2, and 4.
The addition.
That's, item 4 is the addendum that was on the table.
Oh, this one, okay.
Do you want, folks, there are a lot of addendums. Again, we could do another amended, whatever we did. If you're more comfortable, pulling out
No,
any
I
of these?
don't.
Okay.
Didn't
I
find
just-
numbering.
You know, this one we
I
had
know, I just don't want
discussed,
anyone
so.
to vote on
Yeah,
anything that they
appreciate it.
feel they haven't had enough, chance. Okay, so we're going to do a roll call vote on items 1, 2, and 4. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Mrs., Mr. Cancro.
Yes.
Mr. Hahn.
Yes.
Mrs. Lax.
Yes.
Mrs. Reese.
Yes.
Mr. Seeler.
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw.
Yes,
And Mrs. Becker.
Yes,
Okay.
motion carries, all of them. Moving on to the staff development agenda, I'd like to combine items 1 and 2. May I please have a motion for that?
This also are two items that were addendums.
Ah,
And
It didn't say
apologize, they
that.
just came through today.
okay, we got a lot of addendums. Anybody,
oh, this is the subscription.
if
Yeah,
anybody, again, would like more time to read this over, we can absolutely come back and open and vote on this. Is there anybody who?
I mean, this is something that we've participated in
Okay.
Yes.
I just,
Yeah.
a number
again,
of times.
that,
It
and
is-
And it is a cost-saving measure.
absolutely, but again, I just want to make sure that everyone is comfortable voting on things that they're seeing maybe for the first time. We do have new board members.
I do appreciate that.
Okay. All right, then, may I please have a motion for items 1 and 2 on staff development?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Shaw,
Second.
second by Mrs. Reese. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Under Student Services, I would like to combine items 1 through 4.
And there are no addenda.
And there are no addendums.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Shaw,
Second.
second by Mr. Seeler. Is there any discussion? This is a roll call vote. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Mr. Cancro.
Yes.
Mr. Hahn.
Yes.
Mrs. Lax.
Yes.
Mrs. Reese.
Yes.
Mr. Seeler.
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw.
Yes.
Mrs. Becker.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, I don't think we have any old business. So I would like to start off our committee reports tonight with our new student representative, Kush. And let us just say again, welcome. We are thrilled to have you, and we look forward to hearing all about the high school through your eyes as we proceed through the year. So,
Thank you.
take it away.
All right. Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you all again. And I'm excited to give my first report as the new board liaison. So school has just started, and we're currently in that transition period. The sophomores are currently getting used to the high school. The juniors are starting to have some real college discussions. And the seniors are hard at work at their college applications. In terms of some big events that we have going on, the National Honor Society is planning out some large-scale events, that are school-wide or district-wide, that are really meant to bring some clubs together. They're going to be events that a lot of clubs are included in and are meant to raise school spirit. And so that's something really exciting that we have going on. Including in that is a continuation of the Relay for Life event that we had last year. A really large event with a really great cause. On top of this, Dr. Vanilla has set up a Principals Leadership Academy where me and 5 others come together to discuss and hone in on our leadership skills. We discuss projects and events that we can practice with and run so that we can practice our leadership abilities. And so many of these events are going to be school or district-wide events that you all will definitely be hearing about once those events are solidified. So overall, as our students transition into the new school year, there are a lot of really large and exciting events that will be coming up in line with our new school message. We are EB and we are one. Thank you.
Oh, that's a great message.
Nice.
Good job.
Tell me, are you still in touch with Ruthie, our ex-student rep? Is she off to a good start in college?
Yes, I've talked to her and she said that she's having a really fun time in college, but she misses East Brunswick, of course.
Well, please send her our regards and hopes for a great year.
Of course.
Are there any committee reports, information items? Good of the cause to the board? Well, okay, I have one, and let me do a spoiler alert. This is going to be really corny. So,
Like the rest of tonight wasn't?
okay. Don't insult me, I have the hammer. So because of my kids' age difference, I've had a child in school since 1992. And so I've done annual back-to-school shopping since 1992. And I remember the expense, first of all, of back-to-school shopping is sometimes unbelievable. And the hours spent tracing items down and finding the last remaining Texas Instrument calculator on eBay for like $4,000. So this year, my youngest is going into his senior year of college, and we were in Target for our annual back-to-school shopping, which consisted of Gatorade, Doritos, and Red Bull, and lots of stuff for his house. And I said, well, can't we go to the student supply section, school supply section? He said, yeah, I guess I need a pen and maybe a folder. And we're standing there, and it occurred to me that this would be my absolute last back-to-school shopping for one of my children. So my message to any parents and guardians, yeah, it's a lot of money, and it can be a real pain in the neck. But it goes by in a flash. And when you don't have it anymore, you actually miss it. This is not an open invitation for all parents in the district to send me their school supply list and ask me to have the pleasure of taking their children to school supply shopping.
No, but maybe just a couple of us along the dais.
Go for it.
Or
But it is a
encourage
plea.
graduate school.
Yeah, it is a plea that I can't believe I'm even saying this. So cherish every second of it. That's my message. If there's no other discussion, we do have a need for closed session. Whereas the Board of Education must discuss matters which are not appropriate for discussion in a public meeting. The Board of Ed intends to discuss the matters outlined in tonight's agenda.
As well as item number 3, the
PBEA grievance.
PBA grievance.
As well as what he said. And the length of the closed session is estimated to be 60 minutes, after which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene.
Yes.
And action will be taken. We do have the
Yeah.
amended
Grievance.
item. So therefore be it resolved, the East Brunswick Board of Education will recess into closed session for only the aforesaid subjects. And we hereby declare that the discussion will be made public at a time when the public's interest in disclosure is greater than any privacy or governmental interest being protected from disclosure.
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Shaw.
Second.
Second by Mr. Seeler. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Good night, folks. Thanks for joining us.